Have you ever felt your car tilt to one side while you braked, or detect a burnt smell coming from your tires? These and other indicators frequently signal a stuck brake caliper, which is a common problem that can pose a safety risk. It's important to understand the typical signs and causes of sticking brake caliper in order to get the problem fixed. It's Max the Car Guy. Subscribe and let's get started. Vehicle pulls to one side. Your automobile will tend to pull to the side where the brake caliper is stuck or seizes. It will resemble a poor alignment, but it's typically more severe. This will occur both when you're just driving and when you're braking. It's extremely dangerous to keep driving when your car won't stay straight. To make sure that a broken caliper isn't the cause, you or a qualified mechanic should examine your brake calipers as soon as possible. If not, you should probably get a wheel alignment for your vehicle. Car slows itself down. When one or more of your brake calipers become sticky, it frequently means that your brake pads are in constant contact with your brake rotors. In turn, even though your foot isn't on the brake pedal, this gives the impression that you are braking. Furthermore, as soon as enough brake pad material is used, you will rapidly wear through it, which may cause high-pitched sounds or grinding. Verify that your brake calipers are not stuck. If they are, replace the caliper and any necessary parts. Excess heat from wheel area. Heat is produced as a result of the friction that a frozen brake caliper will be exerting continuously on the back of the brake pad, which will in turn apply constant pressure to the brake rotor. It will get hotter there the longer you drive with a stuck brake caliper. After stopping, take a slow walk around your car. If you put your hand close to any particular wheel, you should feel more heat emanating from it. This is frequently an indicator that your brakes have seized while you've been driving. Burning smell. As was previously mentioned, even when the brakes are not engaged, a sticking brake caliper drags and rubs against the brake rotor continuously. Strong heat produced by this friction can quickly overheat the rotor, brake pads, and caliper. Often, the burning smell is caused by these overheated parts rubbing against one another. Bad gas mileage. Poor fuel efficiency can be caused by a variety of issues, including issues with your calipers. As was already mentioned, an unintentional braking caused by a stuck caliper will require more fuel to maintain the engine's speed. When you apply the brakes, your car will frequently pull more to one side. This is a sign that the brake caliper is stuck. If you take your foot off the brake pedal, you might also notice that it doesn't come back up all the way. If any of these signs have occurred to you, brake caliper sticking issues are unquestionably present. Causes. Brake calipers that stick are not very common, but when they do, there are very few potential reasons why. These three are the most typical. Piston and hose. The brake hose and caliper piston are frequently to blame for a brake caliper sticking. A rubber boot covers the piston, protecting and lubricating it. However, if this rubber is torn, the caliper will become filled with debris and rust, which will reduce the piston's sliding capacity. In addition to being torn by irresponsible mechanics replacing brake pads, the rubber boot of the caliper piston can also deteriorate with age. In regards to the brake hose, it will simply deteriorate with time. The vehicle will slow down when brake fluid seeps onto the pistons from a cracked or broken hose. The caliper will stick because the fluid won't be able to return to the master cylinder, which is the worst part. Slides. The caliper slides are yet another frequent source. As you press the brake pedal, the brake pads slide into grooves on each caliper. The brake pads slide out of the grooves when you step off the brake pedal. However, the brake pads themselves will become trapped in the grooves if there is an accumulation of debris or corrosion on them. This means that when you apply the brake calipers will feel sticky because the brake pads won't slide out of the grooves when you take your foot off the brake pedal. Bolts. Additionally, a frozen brake caliper could also be caused by an issue with the caliper's bolts. Since these bolts are designed to slide, it's easy for them to become sticky if they get too dry and don't get lubricated every so often. The lubricant is kept inside the bolts by a protective rubber layer, but this rubber can easily tear and leak lubricant out of the bolt. This most frequently occurs by accident when mechanics are changing a vehicle's brake pads. The sliding mechanism will further deteriorate as rust and debris accumulate after the bolt dries out. Knowing the symptoms and causes, you can fix faulty caliper by your own or find a qualified mechanic. Hope the information was helpful for you. If so, please press the like button and subscribe to the channel.